this is something that is just going to like start getting ridiculous. I mean, if Whoopi Goldberg is canceled, that would be the end. I mean, that would be the end of this all. This cancel culture is getting so out of hand.
Yeah, that's MSNBC saying that cancel culture is getting so out of hand. It's the end of the world that Whoopi Goldberg, people are even thinking about canceling Whoopi Goldberg. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an amazing show tonight. We're going to talk about the Joe Rogan saga that is continuing. It is not going away anytime soon. I know that Joe Rogan has issued apologies and this and that on IG. Listen, I support Joe, love Joe, but listen, I really hope he understands who these people really are, because they're not going away anytime soon. We're going to go over just exactly how these psychopaths, it's gone all the way up to the federal government, to the White House, calling for further censorship of Joe Rogan. We're going to get into that tonight as well. Also, we are going to get into Whoopi Goldberg and the astounding hypocrisy and double standards of their cancel culture. She gets a slap on the wrist, but then she apologizes, and then she's mad that she's getting suspended for 2 weeks, and it's kind of like she takes her apology back. Anyways, Whoopi Goldberg is an idiot. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Drew Hernandez. You are now watching Drew Hernandez Live. Hopefully, I'm one of your favorite podcast hosts here on YouTube. And yes, I have a very distracting bandage on my lower lip. I missed you guys. I know I've been away for like a couple weeks. Just to give you guys an update on my health. I wasn't sick, didn't have the virus, already had that, survived that. My wife had it, survived that. That was like over the summer in August. But I did have like an irregularity on my bottom lip. Went to my dermatologist, asked him what he thought about it. And he did recommend that we do a biopsy to make sure that it wasn't cancerous. And so had a bit of a cancer scare. And thank God the results came in a couple days ago. And they said, you know, you're fine, but we just wanted to make sure. Sorry, we had to cut your lip open. It's healing fine. It's not like a nasty, huge scar. It's just they want me to take care of it so it doesn't get infected. But yes, thank God, praise God. Had the biopsy done, don't have cancer, but it definitely was a scare. So thank God for that. Thank you all for your prayers. You guys didn't even know what was going on, but thank you for the prayers. It's definitely a lot of anxiety when you're told like, hey, we don't think it is, but it might be. So we got to cut your lip open to find out. I'm like, okay, well, this is serious. But anyways, thank you guys for the prayers. Thank you guys for not unsubbing. I know when I don't go live for like a week, we lose like hundreds of subscribers. So, you know, whatever, I don't care. But thank you guys, DH Alliance. As always, if you would like to support the show, support the channel, we do super chats at the end of every single show. You can drop a super chat now, in the middle of the show, or at the end of the show. We do Q&As at the end of every single show so we can interact, talk, and have a conversation. And shout out and blessings to the chat, every single one of you guys. DH Alliance, those that support me for as low as $5 a month. Thank every single one of you in the chat. Blessings to all of you. Let me know where you're tuning in from tonight. Your city, state, country. I want to know. I want to see. Let me know right now. Smash that like button. Destroy that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification and toggle on the all selection right now. And as always, guys, please do me a huge favor. Copy the link and share this transmission wherever you can, because we depend on you to get us past the throttling. They have destroyed this channel if you have not noticed by now. So we need you guys to share these links. And also, if you would like to give a custom amount monthly, you can go to my Patreon. The link is in the description below, or you can give a one-time donation on Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal. So thank you guys very much. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, this episode is brought to you by the official DrewHLive.com merch store. The link is in the description. I'm wearing the official Based t-shirt. It doesn't only come in red. We have all kinds of different designs. If you guys would like to check out this t-shirt and support the show, you can. We are funded by the people, we the people, that is you the people. So you can go get your own. The link is in the description below, whether it's red, black, different colors. Let's take this down. Thank you guys so much for the support. We love you. Thank you for sticking with us. We truly, truly do need your support, especially being a channel that's independent. We have over 70K subs, and YouTube just continues to throttle the channel, throttle the content. You know how it works, but thank you guys so much. Just copy the link, share it wherever you can. And again, I apologize if this massive bandage on my lip is distracting. There's nothing I can do about it. Because you don't want to, yeah, trust me. So, yeah, apologize for that. It could be worse. So we have to have some serious conversations because I've been off the air for more than a week. A lot has gone down, so there's a lot to talk about, as always. And listen, man, we're living in clown world, and before we get into the top story of the day, I'm gonna play you guys this reel, man. I mean, sometimes I watch these videos and I'm just kind of like, why, God? like, why am I living in this time? How have things gotten so bad? But anyways, let's do a quick little update. Let's check in on Clown World. Go to sleep.
It has to fucking stop. The honking will continue until freedom improves. Simple as that. Simple as that. You. Me? You. Join us.
West Australian parents who are unvaccinated will be banned from seeing their own sick children in the state's hospitals under the new strict laws drawn up by Premier Mark McGowan. The tough new rules will come into play from January 31.
But, you know, I'm all for this. I mean, this is not about the rights of parents. This is about the rights of the sick kids and the rights of the elderly to stay as safe as possible at a time where we know we're dealing with a very virulent strain of the disease.
Look at the eyes.
And if you are unvaccinated without a good reason, without a valid exemption, then you are going to find your movements curtailed. We went through this in Victoria months ago where even 12-year-olds couldn't attend their own primary school graduations until the rules were relaxed. So I think this is what the government needs to do at this point to really shock and challenge people into, as Basil was saying, change their philosophy, change their action and get vaccinated.
Why is the dog masked? Why? Poor dog. Look at the dog, dude. Come on. She's loving it. Oh. Black Lives Matter. Don't mind this. They're just collecting their reparations, guys. This is totally normal. All right? Totally normal.
Black too, dummies.
Oh, Sleepy Joe. Okay, I don't even know what to say about Joe Biden anymore, guys. Honestly, man, I don't even think Joe even knows where he's at, what he's doing half of the time. Does Joe Biden even know that he's the puppet president of the United States of America? Does Brandon even know, like, that he's in Washington, D.C. when he's in Washington, D.C.? He has to be escorted. It's like a little kid. You see Joe Biden holding his hand, walking him around the White House. Like, anyways, I mean, Putin must be scared. All right, Putin, North Korea, Iran, these seriously threatening countries that hate America, that call for the death of America. Yeah, these world leaders, they're just shaking at the sight of Joe Biden. Joe Biden is such a symbol of strength. Brandon makes the entire rest of the world look futile and weak because Brandon is so strong. Joe Biden is our guy. Joe Biden is our man because Brandon is awesome. Just sick of this guy at this point. I mean, like, this is what I've been looking up on TikTok too, is like these psychopaths that are masking their animals. Why is she masking a poor dog? That's abuse. Like, why are you covering not only the dog's mouth, but the dog's nose, but the poor dog can't even see. Poor dog probably can't even breathe. There's literally zero purpose to masking a dog. But this is what the mass formation cult does. They want to make every single aspect of your life freaking COVID, jabs, and masks. COVID, jabs, and masks. Everyone and everything. Well, why are you masking a dog? Because it's the new normal. I don't know. It's just... And that video in Australia, that is crazy. Remember when we were all called conspiracy theorists? Remember when Alex Jones was called a conspiracy theorist because, Operation Warp Speed rolled out, Trump was criticized, and then the jab came, and then everyone was saying, hey, they're going to turn that into, there's going to be vax passports. They're already mandating masks. They're already telling people that, you can, no mask, no service. So once that jab comes, there's going to be no jab, no service, and they're going to have some kind of track in order to make sure that that is upheld and enforced. A vax passport. Remember when we were all called conspiracy theorists when we were saying this? And now we have vax passports in New York. And you look at Australia. Australia is insane with their lockdowns and their vax passports and the enforcement and the police just beating the hell out of anyone that's not wearing a mask. And then isn't it crazy when you see these cops beating the hell out of people for not wearing masks? The cops don't even have masks on. Oh, yes. Clown world, ladies and gentlemen. Listen. But listen, that clip that I played you was the media in West Australia. That was the media foaming at the mouth. The media saying, yes, I believe. You see, it's always with those crazy eyes. You see that lady. I think she, like, even when you look at the clip on the bottom, it says she's a blogger. Okay? These are the people that are bringing tyranny into the world. Freaking bloggers. And I know it's funny and it's like clown world. We can sit here and clown on them, but it's like these losers, okay, that were probably bullied in high school, that now all of a sudden feel empowered because of tyranny, and they're in these little positions of power where they could literally just turn around and just impose their will on anybody. Always with the eyes. You see this lady on TV. Yeah, this is exactly what the government needs to do to shock the people, to change their behavior in order to get them to change their minds and get vaccinated. Yeah, we got to threaten their children. We have to separate the unvaccinated from their own babies, from their own blood, because we know what's best. We know what's better. Not you, not the parent, not mom, not dad. You're dying in the hospital. Your child is dying in the hospital of something unrelated in West Australia. Nope, you're not vaccinated. Nope, you can't experience the final moments with your child. Your child has to die alone. Or you have to die alone. And you know what? Big Brother is the one that's going to take care of you and your kids. So just trust us, because we know what we're doing. We know what's best for you because we're better than you. That's who these people are. It's a joke. Clearly a joke. I mean, the looting is continuing on. It's the freaking new world normal. You see this in Chicago, Los Angeles. You see this in New York. You continue to see this all over the place. Why? Because the far left wanted to destabilize the nation through Black Lives Matter. They manipulated the black people like they always do in order to do stupid policy changes. And now here we are where crime is skyrocketing across the entire United States of America, especially and predominantly in big blue regions. And it's continuing. It's normal. There's endless clips. White supremacy is a serious problem, you guys. Can you imagine if I was like that? Imagine if I was just like one of those stupid minorities that's just like, you know what, white people? You don't know what it's like to be like me. White supremacy is the greatest threat to my life. So you know what? If I want to go to a T-Mobile and take an iPhone 13 from a display, I can, because I'm brown. You're white, so shut the hell up. And if I want to steal an iPhone 13 Pro off the display counter, then I can, because that's reparations. White people, you shut the hell up. You don't say anything. You just sit down and you comply and you listen to what I have to say. Imagine if I was like that. It's comical, dude, but there are people out there. Listen, and people are like, Drew, that might be kind of racist. Like, why are you saying that's reparations? Because they say it. 2020, when BLM Chicago was looting in the streets and rioting, literally on live TV, this BLM psychopath with the crazy red dreads was like, it's a form of reparations. That's what looting is. So I just repeat what they say, okay? But don't mind that. All right, guys. The next time when if you live in LA or Seattle, Portland, New York, the next time you're in a CVS or a T-Mobile, or the grocery store or wherever, and you see a robbery in progress, okay? If it's a white person, you might be able to, you know, do a little something. You know what I mean? You might be able to say something against them. If it's a brown person, nope, don't say anything, okay? If it's a black person, my God, no, do not say anything. If you see a black person committing robbery or armed robbery anywhere in the United States, you cannot say anything because black people are immune, okay? Black people could do nothing wrong. Black people are untouchable at this point because if you go in there as a black person and you want to just steal whatever the hell you want, you cannot say anything to them because if you do, that is racist. And if you say anything that is racist and you are a white supremacist, you love Adolf Hitler, and you're a neo-Nazi. But I'm black. No, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But I'm brown, so I can't call out any criminal activity, even if it's like a person of color. Nope. Because if you do, that's racist. I know this, it's like, I'm not exaggerating. Like this is literally how these people think. It's literally how these people think. And you know, and shout out real quick. Let's just like switch up because the beginning of that clip. Shout out to Canada and the freedom fighters and the truckers and the freedom convoy. Honk, honk. I mean, you're starting to see these videos of people triggered out of their minds, dude. Like you see this guy in the middle of the street just screaming, F you, F you, F you. It's just like nothing but these obscenities. Like all they can do is cuss up a storm and like they explode and curse people. They're like walking curses. And the guy's like, I haven't slept in 5 days. This needs to effing stop. I have not slept in multiple. It's like, then go to bed. You need a nap, you freaking male Karen. My God, go get laid. Go do something. Like, come on. People, like, are you that triggered because people are fighting for their own freedom? Obviously. You know, Justin Trudeau coming out and like literally like calling all of the truckers homophobes and misogynists. So the list goes on, right? You know what's funny about that is when Justin Trudeau came out and literally condemned some of the truckers and the freedom convoy in Canada. I think one of the things he called them were like these like anti-minority, like it's just, you see, but this is all they can do is like slander people with these leftist buzzwords, right? Because you have like people that watch him and listen to him and say, okay, well, our leader said that they're homophobes. These truckers are homophobes. These truckers, they're all Trump supporters. These truckers, it's like never about freedom. It's always some right-wing, anti-gay, homophobe, xenophobic. That's what it was. He was calling them xenophobic. And you know what's hilarious about that? Some of these truckers are like immigrants in Canada. A xenophobe is someone who is just like totally anti anyone that's foreign. Okay? So you have Justin Trudeau coming out and calling foreign truckers in Canada xenophobic. So, I don't know, dude. It's just hilarious, man. I mean, but it's never about freedom. Never about freedom. Never, never, never. It's just slander this, slander that. So shout out to the convoy. Hold the line. This is about freedom. This is about peace. This is about doing it peacefully. But they want to make them look like terrorists, make them look like a threat. They're even considering calling in the military. I think a report went out today that some of the truckers are having all of their license plates written down by the police. It's just, you know, and this is all about freedom. This is all about truckers that don't want to be jabbed when it's like one of the most isolated jobs you could ever have. I don't know if some of you guys know truckers. I know some. I've talked to them, and it's a very like solo life. You're on the road just by yourself a lot. So why do they need to be vaccinated? You know, I don't know, guys. I guess we just got to trust Dr. Fauci. He's our great high priest. But anyways, that's just a little update from Clown World. I mean, we got some top Clown World stories here to share with you guys. So let me pull these up. Let's get this up. So here's another one out of Clown World. Biden to reopen the same migrant processing facility used by the Trump administration to house illegal immigrants. Biden to reopen the Kids in Cages facility to house illegal immigrants. Would you look at that? Wow. Wow. So Joe Biden is using the same immigration processing facility that the far left said was racist when Trump was doing it. Wow. Wow. Oh, I had no idea. Wow. Such good, Biden. Good. Good. This is good because Orange Man made it bad. Even it's the same thing. It's racist when Trump does it, but it's great when Biden does it. I love the picture. It's just like literally Biden pointing at an immigrant child. Oh my goodness. What else do we have? Oh, well, the Biden admin is moving to authorize the Pfizer COVID shot for babies and toddlers. Yes. Yeah, you know what? Because we just need them to be jabbed. Straight out the womb. Jab your babies. I got to be careful with the science that I add here on YouTube because they'll ban me for this, but you guys know exactly where I'm going with this. Why do babies need to be jabbed? Who are the ones predominantly affected by the virus? Those that have pre-existing conditions, those that are unhealthy, those that are elderly, not babies. Listen, dude, this is a generational thing. When it makes no sense, when it comes to science or logic or fact or just common sense, when it doesn't make sense, when like the federal government is doing something, it means that they have another agenda that they're not telling you. Okay? And they want to jab your kids. They want to force inoculate your kids. And the reason why they want to do this is because they know that this is their form of tyranny to get everybody to comply. And they know that they want to raise an entire generation to learn to comply. And this is all about money. All of these jabs, there are billions of dollars being made off of these jabs. And they got to go somewhere. They got to go somewhere. But why? Why my baby? What's the point of that? Because money. It's all about money. Money, power, and control. Well, let's get into our top story of the day. I know you guys have been patiently waiting, but we got Whoopi Goldberg. Now, I wanted to talk about this because I haven't been talking for the past couple weeks. And I've just been watching what's happening with Whoopi Goldberg. I've been watching what's happening with Joe Rogan. And I see this parallel. It's like this multiverse, right? You know, in the multiverse, you kind of have like the same version of someone, but it could be like the opposite. You know what I mean? Like it could be like a good version of me, just in like an alternate reality or like in a parallel universe. You know what I mean? And you see this and you got to ask yourself, when you contrast Whoopi Goldberg and you contrast Joe Rogan, it's almost the same situation, and I'm not for cancel culture. I'll repeat that again as we go forward, but I love to watch them eat themselves alive. I'll tell you that. And, you know, I like to hold people accountable. And so I'll hold them to their own cancel culture standards because I think it's funny, right? I don't know what you guys think, but anyway, so Whoopi Goldberg is livid and she's threatening to quit The View over her suspension. Now, let me give you guys an update just to bring you guys back up to speed. Whoopi Goldberg is livid. Oh my God. After she was suspended from The View over her claim that the Holocaust was not about race. I'll get into that right now as well. And is telling coworkers she is going to quit the show, according to a source. Goldberg, 66, feels humiliated at being disciplined by ABC executives after she followed their advice to apologize for the ill-conceived comments. A well-placed insider told the Post, this is what they said, she feels ABC executives mishandled this. She followed their playbook. Oh, there's a playbook. She went on the late show with Stephen Colbert and then apologized again on The View the next day, a source said. The source added that while Goldberg is taking the suspension hard and says she wants to leave the show, insiders believe she's likely just sounding off. I think she was suspended for like 2 weeks. It's like literally, It's like literally like a slap on the wrist. It was nothing huge, nothing insane. But listen, let's talk about this. Let's take this down. Let's talk about this. The far left is a religious cult. And I want to start off this way when we're talking about Whoopi Goldberg. And the reason why I'm going to say this is because the far left have like these crazy standards of do's and don'ts, speech, actions, beliefs. Okay? They have these high legalistic standards. There are things you cannot say. There are things, behaviors you cannot live by. There are beliefs that you cannot believe. And if you do, you are canceled and you are sent into the abyss. Your career is gone. Your support is gone. And the public says, anathema, the end, to hell with you. They've done it to multiple people. Gina Carano is one of them. I'm going to bring her up later and talk about that as well. To contrast this, it's a perfect example. But you take a look at Whoopi Goldberg, right? And first off, their standards are so high. You say the wrong thing, you're done. So this is why I like to hold them to their own standards, because why not? And you say the wrong thing, you do the wrong thing, and you commit a sin in the far leftist cult. You commit a sin, there's no forgiveness. There's no recompense. There's no mercy. There's no redemption. Okay, when they say you're done, you're done. Which, by the way, the Bible says one of the identifying factors of a degenerate culture is unforgiveness, by the way. That like defines the culture once a entire society becomes totally depraved. It's Romans chapter 1. Go check that out later. Anyways, unless, okay, in the religious far left cult, in their doctrine, there's no forgiveness. You say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, believe the wrong thing. You commit the unpardonable sin and you are excommunicated forever, right? But in the doctrine of the leftist cult, unless you're one of them, there's wiggle room to not forgive you, but to just let it slide. You see what I'm saying? And this is when you know their whole leftist religion is flawed and it's hypocritical, because unless you're one of them, you get a pass like Whoopi Goldberg. She gives a fake apology. We're going to get into that too. And it's not real. But number one, let's talk about the comments herself. Okay, the comments she made herself. When you're talking about Jews, you can be black and be Jewish. You can be a black Jew religiously. There's an ethnic aspect, and there's like this component of religious Jews, right? Because you could be black and be a Jew. You can be Mexican and be a Jew. You can be white and be a Jew. You can convert, right? The main core thing is being Israeli. But here's the thing. That's irrelevant in my view, right? Because you can make the argument that they were white Jews that Adolf Hitler was targeting in Eastern Europe. That's a fact. Everywhere he looked, in Poland, and the list goes on, right? But here is what is problematic with Whoopi Goldberg's comments, okay? What did the Nazis believe themselves? That's the context of when you're talking about Nazi Germany and the Holocaust. What did Adolf Hitler believe? What did Himmler believe? What did Goebbels believe? Okay, what did the Nazi regime at the time themselves believed about the Jews? It may not be accurate or consistent because we're talking about propagandists who are psychopaths, okay? But the Nazis believed that the Jews were indeed an inferior race. And trust me, I know. I'm already hearing you guys. I know. Well, there were white Jews. Yes, I know. But the Nazis didn't see it that way. The Nazis viewed them as an inferior race and viewed themselves, the Aryan German, as the superior race in the universe. Okay, so like this is, you got to go into the mind of these Nazis. So when Whoopi Goldberg says that this wasn't about race is pretty ridiculous, because the way that the Nazis acted on exterminating millions of Jews in Europe was because they viewed them as an inferior race. That was their belief. That was their doctrine. So it was about race, because in the mind of the villain, it was about race. Okay, like that's how they viewed it. So that's how you have to view this. Okay, trust me, I understand. White Jews in Europe got exterminated. I get that, but that's not how the Nazis viewed it. So to say that doesn't kind of make historical sense, because you got to view it the way the Nazis did. Like they viewed them as an inferior race and that they were the white supreme Aryan Germans. Anyway, so I just that was my view, because I'm seeing people go back and forth in this, and I think you really do have to view it from, the vantage point of the Nazi at the time, because to say that the Holocaust wasn't about race is pretty ridiculous. I mean, if you were to say that to Adolf Hitler at the time, as a, let's just say you're a German living in Nazi Germany, and you come out and say, you know what, I don't think that we should consider, let's say you're a part of the Nazi regime in the 1940s, right? Adolf Hitler is considering the final solution, the final extermination of Jews in Eastern Europe, right? Across the board, beyond Germany. And let's say you're in the Nazi regime, you're a general, you got a voice, you're around Adolf Hitler, and you come out and say what Whoopi Goldberg said. You know what, sir? Das Führer, I don't think, this is about race. I don't think we should, be trying to kill off these people, because I don't think this is about race. They're just Jews. They're white Jews. You know what happened to you? You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? You wouldn't last. You would disappear. Okay? That goes completely against the doctrine of the... Anyways, I'm just trying to make that point, because I think some people get a little lost. And I'm not calling for the cancellation of Whoopi Goldberg. I'm just saying it is pretty ridiculous to say something like that for that reason. And that's where I stand. But anyways, she gets a pass. And some people, especially the Jewish community, are just like livid because they view it the way that I just explained it. And of course, it's a very serious thing that happened in world history. Millions of people died. It's a genocide. You're literally just kind of like, wiping away, what that happened. Like, isn't it funny how like people like Whoopi Goldberg are like, if you're not black, you can't speak on black issues. But you know what? I'm going to speak on issues of Jews. I don't know. Because, she's got the Jewish last name and this, but you guys see what I'm saying. She's black, okay? She's black. I don't know. Anyways, but she gets a pass. People are coming after her because of what she said. The far left, it's like this, like the monster begins to eat itself, and people are having a serious reaction to it. But then she goes back on it, because now she's threatening to quit. So she apologizes to the Jewish community worldwide, says she had a conversation with someone that she respects in the Jewish community, and they had to sit her down and explain to her, that's kind of not, no, that ain't it. That ain't it, Whoopi. And then she apologizes, says, I'm sorry, I got it wrong, this and that. But then she gets suspended, and now she's pissed off. So when someone says I'm sorry and then there's consequences to something they said I'm sorry because they know they did something wrong, if there's consequences, even though you already said you're sorry, if you're really sorry, you're willing to kind of deal with whatever the consequences are because you feel a sense of remorse that, hey, I did something wrong and I know that there's going to be some consequences because of what I said and what I've done. But when you get mad, you're full of crap. You're not sorry. Like your whole act of forgiveness and saying I'm sorry is a lie. It's a total lie. And we know that Whoopi Goldberg is full of crap. We know that Whoopi Goldberg does not care about the Jewish community. We know that Whoopi Goldberg doesn't actually mean she's sorry when she says she's sorry because she's mad that there's consequences to what she claims she's sorry for doing, which literally renders void your apology. And I'm not calling for cancel culture. I'm not. I'm just saying we need to hold these hypocrites, these monsters of cancel culture, to their own freaking standards. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm not calling to cancel her. I'm just like pointing out that this is hypocrisy. But at the same time, sometimes the mob gets out of control. Actually, the mob always gets out of control. This is what the far left doesn't understand. They create these monsters, right? They create these monsters that they lose control of, and they turn around on them. They turn on them. It's like this monster that gets created in a lab that you created to go after your enemies and to eat and destroy, seek and destroy anybody that you hate. But one day the monster turns on you. Well, MSNBC is shocked that the far left cancel culture is affecting Whoopi Goldberg. This is MSNBC. It's ridiculous.
This is something that is just going to like start getting ridiculous. I mean, if Whoopi Goldberg is canceled, that would be the end. I mean, that would be the end of this all. This cancel culture is getting so out of hand.
Oh, it's going to be the end of the world. It's like she's that close to saying it. It's going to be the end. She stops herself. It's the end of the world. If Whoopi Goldberg gets canceled, it's the end of the world. This is not Fox. This is not OAN. This is not Newsmax. This is MSNBC saying that cancel culture is so out of control. How could this happen? How did we end up into this position in society where Whoopi Goldberg is getting canceled? If that happens, it's the end of the world. This has gone way too far. It's a joke. It's really a joke. Yeah. What about Gina Carano? Oh, now because Whoopi Goldberg, because she's black, and now the monster is turning on them. This is what happens when the monster that you create turns around and begins to eat you alive. They have produced this cancel culture, and it's a shock when it happens to them. Oh, but, Gina Carano, ironically, she made comments paralleling the cancel culture of today to Nazi Germans selling out their own people in Nazi Germany for the sake of a regime. Oh, but no, that's way too far. Gina Carano can't make that connection, even though it's accurate. She had nothing to be sorry for, by the way. Gina Carano has nothing to be sorry for because everything that she was saying was already happening, already on point. And now even more so has Gina Carano been vindicated because now we have examples of far leftists almost getting canceled like Whoopi Goldberg. I'm not calling for cancel culture, but I love to watch the left eat themselves alive. I love to watch the far left have to deal with their own eating themselves alive. Oh, but Disney execs can't have Gina Carano around. No. What is this about? This is about being on the wrong side. This is about having the wrong think, having the wrong politics, having the wrong beliefs. But Whoopi Goldberg gets a pass. She's going to get a pass. But it's hilarious to watch them shocked that anybody would even try and attempt to cancel Whoopi Goldberg. But she gets a pass because this is regime and they're all on the same side But if you have the wrong beliefs, the wrong politics, you say the wrong thing, you live the wrong way, if you are on the wrong side of politics, your career is done. You get Gina Carano'd. Screw these people. Screw them all. And they will never stop. That's why that's the title of this episode, because we're going to transition into Joe Rogan right now. The Joe Rogan saga is not over, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll prove it to you. Let's get this up. The White House is now urging Spotify. This is the White House. The federal government. Okay, it's one thing when you see CNN, big tech, all these SJW losers. I showed you guys on a past episode where they try to get all these medical experts. There's veterinarians on the list. There's dentists on the list. There's social workers on the list saying we are COVID experts and we want Joe Rogan taken off of Spotify. It's one thing when you see that stuff. But then when you start to see stuff like this, this is why I'm saying this is not over. Listen, I love Joe. I support Joe. Okay? I've been on the same show with Joe Rogan before, and I wouldn't do something like that if I wasn't in agreement with somebody. And I support Joe Rogan's right to free speech on and offline. But when you see this is what I'm telling you, man. I don't care what your politics are, whether left or right. This is stuff that is very concerning. The White House now urges Spotify to censor content over COVID-19 misinformation concerns. There she is. Gosh, dude. Freaking Mark Zuckerberg in a wig. During the White House press conference, Biden Press Secretary Jen Psaki addressed the continuing controversy over Spotify and podcasting icon Joe Rogan in regards to COVID-19 discussions, with Psaki encouraging big tech platforms to censor content in order to fight misinformation. A reporter questioned Psaki about comments the Biden admin Surgeon General Vivek Murthy made last week regarding Rogan's vaccine comments on Spotify. I'm going to play you guys that clip real quick. Let's take this down. I'm going to play you guys that clip real quick. Here is Psaki calling for more totalitarian control over Joe Rogan. No surprise, but here it is.
So our hope is that all major tech platforms and all major news sources, for that matter, be responsible and be vigilant to ensure the American people have access to accurate information on something as significant as COVID-19. That certainly includes Spotify. So this disclaimer, it's a positive step, but we want every platform to continue doing more to call out mis and disinformation while also uplifting accurate information. I mean, look at the facts, right? Our view is it's a good step, it's a positive step, but there's more that can be done.
More that can be done. It's not enough to slap a misinformation label on Rogan's content. That's not enough. It's never enough. And by the way, Jen Psaki is such a joke. Isn't she embarrassing? I mean, I feel bad for women sometimes. And I mean, you have the feminist movement like, we want more women to have more jobs. And I'm like, okay, then just send us great women. That's all I'm asking. Don't send us Jen Psaki's. It's kind of embarrassing. Just saying. I'm just saying. Trump. Mark Zuckerberg has 2 jobs. He's in the White House with a red wig on. Somebody get him now. Get me Mark Zuckerberg. He's the White House press secretary. I know it. Anyways, okay. Listen, these people are totalitarian psychopaths. Okay? Because this is the federal government openly saying that more needs to be done to combat misinformation. What that literally means is more needs to be done to regulate, and if we have to, censor anything that we do not want this person talking about. And in this context, COVID, misinformation. Okay? They act like it's so virtuous, right? The devil tries to act like a hero, right? Tries to act like your friend, tries to act like your protector, but has sinister intentions that he's not showing you. That's what a totalitarian government does. Big Brother tries to look like your protector, like they care about you. The outside world wants, this is what North Korea does, literally. North Korea tells its own people that we need to protect you because we have godlike powers, and you cannot go into the outside world because the Americans want to kill you. Everyone on the outside wants to destroy us and you. So you need us to take care of you. We need to listen to all your phone calls. We need to listen through all your technology. You can't even go on the internet because they might get you. So we have to cut off all communications so that we can protect you. That's history. It's nothing new. And now you have literally the federal government, the White House coming out and with the same rhetoric. You see, the problem is when you have like millions of lemmings out there that say, yes, Jen Psaki, you care about me so much. No, Jen Psaki does not care about you. Jen Psaki does not love you. Joe Biden doesn't care about you. You think that Joe Biden, do you honestly believe that Jen Psaki is losing a second of sleep over you reading misinformation? You believe that? I'm sorry, man. You're an idiot. All of these people, Dr. Fauci, all these people calling for censorship, all of them, they don't care about you. This is about power and control. And when you have the federal government literally coming out and openly saying that more can be done, I hope Joe, man, I really hope Joe Rogan understands who these people are. Because just issuing like a feel good, I just want to be the middle ground kind of guy. That's always been Joe's thing. That's who he'll always be. Joe is just being himself. But with great power comes great responsibility. And when you got a podcast that reaches 11 million people an episode, bro, you have the responsibility to understand that authoritarian governments are going to come after you. You won't be able to be that middle guy because they won't let you. It's not so much that you're trying to be like this right-wing provocateur. It's that there's a far left psychopath, totalitarian globalist government, shadow government, that views you as a threat because you have the ability to communicate to 11 million people like that. That's what it is. It's not that it's Joe Rogan's the problem. Well, I mean, if you're a far left totalitarian globalist, Joe Rogan's the problem. I hope he gets it, man, because putting out an IG video just saying, hey, I want to be the middle guy. I want to have, diverse conversations. I'll do better. I'm okay with having, labels slapped on COVID content, this and that. And that's not enough, man. It'll never be enough. You give an authoritarian psychopath an inch, listen, and I'm going to prove that to you. It's never enough for these people. Well, by the way, here's Brian Stelter, okay? Here's Brian Stelter literally talking about Joe Rogan like he's like some kind of like primate. And I know Joe Rogan, jokes about himself a lot. He clowns on himself. He's like, I'm a monkey, man. I'm an ape. But Brian Stelter is like serious. Of all people.
So our hope is that all major tech...
Brian Stelter.
The narrative is, I want to show all kinds of opinions.
Which sounds great, but not all opinions are created equal. You think about major newsrooms like CNN that have health departments and deaths and operations that work hard on verifying information on COVID-19. And then you have talk show stars like Joe Rogan who just wing it, who make it up as they go along. And because figures like Rogan are trusted by people that don't trust real newsrooms, we have a problem that's much bigger than Spotify, much bigger than any single platform, Kate. But that's what is the heart of this right now.
No, Brian, people don't trust CNN because you are literally a garbage can of lies. You are a daily garbage can of lies to the people. That's the problem that you have, Brian. Okay? It's not that Joe Rogan, oh my goodness, this guy is out of control. He's the villain. Brian, people aren't listening to CNN anymore because you suck and you're a liar and you're boring and you're only entertaining to watch because you say stupid crap like that. And actually, that's what gets people to watch you because they're watching a clown. like, there's nobody that takes Brian Stelter seriously, okay? Unless you're a clown too. But Joe Rogan is the villain. Joe Rogan is a problem. Joe Rogan is an issue for these people. Because Joe Rogan has the ability to reach 11 million people in one episode. CNN's views are plummeting. Isn't it funny? CNN of all people, we're so reliable. We have major newsrooms. People are checking on this, checking on that. But they believe Joe Rogan, a guy who just wings it. Isn't it funny? It's like Brian Stelter thinks you're so stupid. Listen, if you're a woke-tard, if you're a leftist in here that watches CNN, Brian Stelter thinks you're so dumb that he believes you are so dumb that you either A, don't remember, or B, don't even know that Joe Rogan had CNN's chief medical correspondent on his show to talk about COVID-2. Sanjay Gupta, I think, is his name. So what I don't understand. What is Brian Stelter trying to say? Oh my gosh, Joe Rogan just wings it and doesn't trust CNN. People don't trust CNN. They trust Joe. It's like, dude, CNN was on the Joe Rogan Experience talking about COVID. This is what I'm saying. It's not about truth. Okay? This is not about misinformation. This is about power and control and shutting down anyone that is not pre-approved by the state to speak on what the state has pre-approved. That's what this is about. Listen, you are all Joe Rogan. I am Joe Rogan. Every single one of you are Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan represents us because Joe Rogan is just a comedian, a stoner, the fear factor guy. They're scared of the fear factor guy. Joe Rogan has gotten to a place where he has the biggest podcast on the face of planet Earth. Was that always Joe Rogan? No. That's why I say we are all Joe Rogan, because that can be you. You could start a podcast tomorrow on some other platform and it'd be successful, massive, and huge. And then you become a threat because you don't comply with the state. I don't know. People say, like, it's a conspiracy theory, man, to say that there's state-run media. That's exactly how it works. That's exactly how state-run media works. The state gives you what is approved. The Nazis did it. Stalin did it. The Soviets, you name it. The state has something that's approved, and they control the media. And the media complies with what the state's messaging is to communicate to the masses. And now you're seeing that in the United States of America. Because you have the White House literally coming out, pressuring big tech. She even mentions news and media. They're working together. They're on the same team. This is really bad. It's bad. This is a bad look. And if you don't believe that there's like this tie between, Democrats and, the far left and big tech censorship and like this push to censor any dissonance. To make matters worse, you take a look at Twitter. Let's get this up. And Occupy Democrats are tweeting things like this. Biden press secretary Jen Psaki demands that Spotify do more. That simply post a disclaimer on anti-vaxxer podcaster Joe Rogan's COVID content, calling Spotify out for not being as responsible as it should be. Retweet to thank Jen Psaki for setting Spotify straight. Imagine praising censorship or a push for it. It's not enough. It'll never be enough. This was a day after Rogan went on Instagram and said, hey, I just want to have diverse conversations. I'm not trying to offend people. The next day, the White House comes out and says they need to do more on Joe Rogan. It's never enough, bro. I'm sorry, man. I love Joe, but you cannot be this middle guy because they won't let you. There's no middle ground with these people. None. Well, Spotify did update their app, and I took it upon myself to go look at Dr. Robert Malone's episode on Spotify. And there it is. There is the label that they are now slapping on Joe Rogan's content. You can go look at this right now if you have Spotify. And it's literally right on top of the episode title and number. And it's funny when you see this because there's the description of Dr. Robert Malone in his feature. Dr. Robert Malone is the inventor of the 9 original mRNA vaccine patents, which were originally filed in 1989, including both the idea of mRNA vaccines and the original proof of principle. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so there's his credibility, but that's not enough. You need Big Brother. You need Big Brother. So what happened? Don't listen to the guy who holds 9 patents to the jab. No. You listen to, so what happens when you click it, guys? You click it, and who the hell does it redirect you to? Fauci on how this ends. It redirects you to the CDC government website. You click this in Spotify, and then it redirects you to other podcasts with Dr. Fauci. Wow. Gee, I wonder why they're doing that. Don't listen to the guy that has 9 patents of the freaking jab itself. No, listen to our great high priest and our leader, Dr. Fauci. Listen, man, don't get it twisted. I love Joe Rogan. I do. But and I personally think Joe Rogan is bigger than Spotify. I think Joe Rogan could launch his own platform like Band.video and Alex Jones and be even bigger than both. But it's never enough. Like, it's clearly never going to be. This is not the end. This is all pre-approved by the state. This is how things work. And if that's not enough, the far left psychopaths are really sticking it to Joe Rogan. They want him gone. Compilation videos of Joe Rogan allegedly using the N-word are now surfacing. I'm not going to play this, but it's Joe saying the N-word out of context. A lot of these clips are Joe Rogan saying the N-word completely out of context, like quoting people, like quoting historical quotes and stuff like that. But what I'm trying to show people is, listen, I think Joe Rogan is powerful. I think he's bigger than Spotify, but I also think that, let's take this down. This is what I think. I think that it's never enough. I think that if you give an authoritarian psychopath an inch, they will take a light year on you. And I don't think that there's playing the middle ground with these authoritarian psychopaths that want you censored. There's no middle ground. There's no being polite. There's no being the bigger person. That's not how they think. They're not going to sit there and be like, you know what? He's just a nice guy. No. It's either you comply, you're one of us, or you are gone. That's literally how these people live. That's how they think, and that's how they treat people politically and culturally. You're either one of us, you're either with us, or you're against us. There's no middle ground for Joe Rogan. These people are never going to stop. It's never going to stop. From the White House to activists to Hollywood. What's the guy's name? Neil Young? Who the hell even knows who that is? Does anybody know who that is? Is that what his name is? Neil Young? And now they're even saying that the Obamas might not renew their contract on Spotify now. Did you see that? Now the Obamas are going to pull themselves off of Spotify. And all of these nobody Hollywood music celebrities in the past. I don't know who these people, I don't know who Neil Young is. And I don't care. Hey, but by the way, for those of you that don't know who Neil Young is, don't do this. Okay? Don't do this. But just go to Google and type in Neil Young AIDS quote. Rolling Stone. Don't do it. You didn't hear it from me. Oh, no. You didn't hear it from me. But don't go to Google and Google Neil Young AIDS quote. That's his name, right? Neil Young? I don't even know the dude's name.
Yeah, his name's Neil.
Neil Young? Okay, yeah. Yeah, don't go to Google and type in Neil Young AIDS quote. I can't even put it on here because YouTube will literally count it as hate speech. But this is the same guy that wants Joe Rogan gone. This left-wing woke-tard virtue signaler. Oh, he's so high and mighty. Oh, my goodness. Oh, he's so amazing. Nobody cares. But here's what I really think. Joe Rogan's not safe. Look what they did to President Trump. What did they do to President Trump months before he was banned off of Twitter? What was the first thing they started doing? You guys remember? They started slapping misinformation labels on all of his tweets. Don't forget. That's the first thing they did. They started slapping all this misinformation labels, all these redirecting labels on the sitting president of the United States. And then they banned a sitting president of the United States of America. Silenced a sitting president of the United States of America. You know what that is, you guys? That is actually power. Okay? That's power. When you have the ability to silence the most powerful man on the face of planet Earth within seconds online, that's actually power. This is why these big tech psychopaths are out of control. And if President Trump wasn't safe, Joe Rogan's not safe. I'm sorry. Joe Rogan is either going to have to do a complete 180 and become a good boy, an NPC, a puppet of the state. Because, listen, everything, when you say free speech, right-winger, when you say, I want freedom, Trump supporter, when you say, hey, I'm just trying to, have a conversation with different opinions and people with opinions, nope, neo-Nazi, silence. There's no middle ground with these people. Like this is who they are, and it's only going to get worse. And isn't it funny? Like, it's one thing, like, you got Alex Jones, right? You got someone like me that's just like a talking head saying everything they don't want said. Joe Rogan talks to people. Joe Rogan's podcast is not even about Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's podcast has always been a conversation between 1 to 4 people in one room. This is why this is kind of eerie. Very 1984 Orwellian. Because not only are they pissed off that you're saying something that's not pre-approved, they're pissed off that you're talking to someone else that hasn't been pre-approved by the state. This is going in a very strange direction where you may not even be able to talk to people that are a no-no moving forward, which is already a thing. But Joe Rogan is at the center of this fight. Whether he likes it or not, whether he anticipated it or not, he is. Whether he believes in God or not. I believe he's in that position for, like, dude, you have 11 million viewers an episode. And you are an advocate for free speech in an era where censorship has not only been normalized online in the digital sphere, but it's celebrated, encouraged, and praised. There's no middle ground for Joe Rogan because they won't give him the middle ground. It's either you're with us or you're against us. And lastly, don't you think it's funny? Don't you think it's funny how when conservatives or like classical liberals, constitutionalists, they come out and say, big tech has way too much power. They're censoring even a sitting US president. They're censoring our speech on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube. We are being censored. Let's push them. Let's break up their monopolies. Let's hold them accountable. Let's hold them as utilities. Let's hold these people accountable. And we go to the far left, and what do they say? Oh, they're just private companies. We're not going to tell them what to do. It's a little fascist and authoritarian. We're not going to do that. Oh, but listen, when they call for censorship, they have no problem pressuring big tech. You guys see that? I hope you see that. Because when we advocate for free speech to go after big tech, they say, they're private companies, leave them alone. But when they want someone censored, oh, they push big tech. They get in their face. They threaten Zuckerberg. They threaten Spotify. The White House is at the front and center of that fight. So you tell me. You tell me where we're really at. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do some super chats. We already have a bunch coming in right now. If you guys have to leave, please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, and toggle on the all selection right now. And copy the link and share this on all of your socials before you head out. Thank you so much. We thank you guys more than anything. We are supported by the people, we the people. So let's do some super chats. We need your support. Thank you guys for staying with me. I know I was gone for a few days. I had a lot to say. These are kind of like the main top. There's so much to talk about, Russia, Ukraine, all that stuff. But these two things are kind of like at the heart of American culture right now. And I wanted to address it my first episode back. And to leave this with you guys as you go into the weekend and we meet again on Monday. So thank you guys. We're going to do some super chats right now. Let's interact. Or go take a look at the merch store. The link is in the description. And consider joining the DH Alliance for as low as $5 a month. Shout out to every single one of you. Or you can give a custom amount monthly on Patreon. The link is in the description as well. Some people don't like using Super Chat, so they'll use Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal to just give a customized donation. And you could write a little memo, and I'll read it live on air and treat it like a Super Chat off my phone. So thank you guys so much for the support. And like I said, go check out the merch store if we can get this up. I'm wearing the official Based t-shirt. People love it, man. This thing has been selling, especially when we push it and put it out there. People love these shirts. They love the branding. This is how you could support the show, guys, because listen, this show itself is not supported by anybody. And everything we do, if we go out and travel and all that stuff. So we truly appreciate all of your financial support. We need you to stay on the air. So thank you. Let's take this down. All right, we are going to get into some super chats. Blessings to the chat. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. It means a lot. Let me make some room here real quick. But yeah.
And Stevie Capone's been a member for 10 months.
Awesome. Congratulations to Stevie Capone. 10 months with the DH Alliance, a day one right there. Staying with me.
Thank you, Stevie.
Truly appreciate it, man. Thank you. Everybody say congratulations and thank you to Stevie. I truly appreciate it, man. You've been there for a while. And it means a lot. And by the way, huge announcement coming this month. I know I was aiming for January, but once you see what I'm about to release, nobody's going to see this coming, and I'm so excited. But this is one of the most important projects of my life, and I have had my hand on it, every detail. So when we launch to the moon, you guys are going to be so pleased with this product. You know, I'm treating it like putting out a new car. That's like where you could ask Sophia. Like that's where my mind's been. Like I can't give too many details, but this month should be the month where we are going to announce the next level for me. And so I'm super excited, and every single one of you are going to be directly involved. So stay tuned. I wish I could announce it right now and show you guys some stuff, but we're not there yet. But we are almost there. Greatness takes time, ladies and gentlemen. Greatness takes time. I am a firm believer in that. All right, well, let's do some super chats and interact. We definitely thank you for your support, man. And was my bandage too distracting tonight? I don't know. It is for me. It's hard to talk with it on, but I wanted to hang out with you guys tonight. I miss you guys. I really did. Anyways, all right, well, let's do this. We have Sophia. Let's do some super chats.
Okay, hello, chat. First super chat is from Randy4737. He had $2 and a $50. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Randy.
He says, keep up the good work. And I believe there's a little
super sticker.
And I think it says, you're amazing.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Randy. We truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Next one is from Dialogue Equals Progress for 10 Canadian dollars, I believe. It says, let's talk about who is pulling the strings. I believe that there are still royal families that never truly gave up their power to, quote, democracy. They pull the strings and manipulate everything.
Absolutely. You take a look at the Bilderberg Group. You look at people like George Soros and raising up his son and Alexander Soros. You take a look at the Rockefellers. Like, these aren't conspiracies. Because this is something that has been taking place for centuries, for hundreds, thousands of years, where the elites, okay, the people at the top, it's the people with the money, it's the people with royalty, it's the people with the power that make all the decisions for the peasants. That's how it's always been, a very Robin Hood story. And it's funny when, people come out and they say, oh, it's just a conspiracy theory. You think that George Soros is actually influencing American politics? Klaus Schwab, literally, you see these people giving speeches in front of the entire world. Like, they're like literal, like real world supervillains. Justin Trudeau is a perfect example of that. He literally looks up to these people. He wants to please the New World Order. He wants to prove to the New World Order that he could manage a society that is under control and under a boot. They all talk about the Great Reset. Remember when they said the Great Reset was like a conspiracy theory? And they all talk about it. They'll build back better, and the Great Reset is the same thing. They want a one world system, so it's controllable. I'll give you a perfect example. It's easy to control people when they're in one place. That's why they want to push for a one world system in government, and from a biblical perspective, that's where things are going. When you take a look at eschatology, the Antichrist will come. It'll be a one world religion, one world system, one world economy. I remember when I told Tim Pool that, I was like, hey, the Bible talks about a one world economy. Does that sound familiar to you? He's like, it doesn't say that. I was like, kind of Christ pilled Tim Pool once. That was funny. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, it's going in this direction because it's easy to control people, to control their actions, to control their bank accounts, to centralize something. They don't want things decentralized because it's too hard to manage and control. If there's one place where your identity, your bank account, your routing, all of that, your medical information, the list goes on. If there's one place somewhere you can be monitored, that is way easier to control you. And the perfect example is this. My wife and I, Sophia and I, have been watching, we watch live stream videos on YouTube of puppies. And people just do this. I don't know why they do it, but they just live stream newborn puppies, so you can watch them. We like to watch this, and you see them rolling around and playing, and it's oh, look at the cute puppies. Anyways, but I was thinking about this last night, and it's when you have these puppies, you put them in a kiddie pool, and you can just leave them by themselves because you know where they are. They're in one place, and they're not going anywhere. They can't get out. They're too small. I'm talking about newborn baby puppies. Their eyes are barely opening, right? They're in one place, one time. Even if you take your eyes off of them, you know they're still going to be there when you come back. I don't know if that's the greatest example, but to me it makes sense because if you can have, listen, we're talking about totalitarian globals, control, narcissist, psychopaths, okay? These people want to control every aspect of your life. It's too hard to control you if everything's decentralized. They need everything and everyone in one place, especially when These people are, saying that, the world's too populated and, we need population control and this, you see what I'm saying? Like it's getting too unmanageable. They want the population manageable. They want the mass formation to make it manageable. They want everyone to look the same, talk the same, act the same, bank the same, social media the same. They want it all across the board because it's easy to manage. Anyways, I saw that comment and it just made me think of that. Let's continue.
So next we have Goofy Foot for $10. Thank you. Says, why is every press conference or speech Biden does always from a set that looks like he's in the White House, but it's never broadcast from the White House?
I don't know, man. It's like a simulation, man. And then and people like wonder why they don't trust the government and like, you know what I mean? And people wonder why they don't trust like the moon landing. You know what I mean? They wonder why. I mean, this rabbit hole goes down deep. You know what I mean? But they wonder why no one trusts what the government does or says. Yeah. Like they try and set up these simulation little sets and events to get you to think it's something when it's not. I mean, I could probably find out why they do that from someone on the inside, because I do have friends that are in there. But, and what I mean in there, like they're actually like in the room during the, press secretary conferences, journalists and stuff like that. But it's just crazy. It's crazy when you see that stuff. And even like, you guys remember when Biden was getting jabbed and people were like, is he even getting jabbed? Is that real? I mean, he's on a set. Like, how much of this is staged? You see what I'm saying? Like, and they wonder why people question things or they don't trust things. It's perfectly reasonable, especially when you see stuff like that. I don't know if I have an answer to that. I think we're living in an era of propaganda that a lot of people don't truly realize is propaganda. And those of you that are truly awake understand it when you see it. You can call it out for when you see it. But there are millions of people in this country that see this stuff, that watch CNN, that literally digest propaganda thinking it's news on a daily basis. So I don't know. I think that this is just an administration of lies from top to bottom. And that's all we're going to get from these people. We have 2 super chats from Julianne. Julianne with $10. Thank you so much. We salute you. Julianne says, went to Department of Motor Vehicles today. Big Black History Month display up front. Posters of Tupac, Nipsey Hussle, and Prince. My husband said, where's George Floyd? Why did Carolyn Johnson change her stage name? Yeah, she's a Karen, supposedly. Named to Whoopi Goldberg. She isn't Jewish. Cultural appropriation, fraud. Yeah, a lot of people are coming down on her for that. She's just an idiot, okay? Like, Whoopi Goldberg is just dumb. She says the most, and I don't know if she, I don't believe she does it on purpose to be, provocative. Because, some people will say some dumb stuff just, because they know it's going to trigger people, and that's their form of comedy, Because from the beginning, Whoopi Goldberg, comedian, right? But she's, serious on The View. And you're watching sometimes, you're like, man, this is just you hear them yapping. It's like a bunch of walruses just going back, and it's like, oh, turn it off. Who watches The View anymore? Is that why they do stuff like this? Because, nobody watches The View and, doesn't care anymore? I don't know, dude. I really don't know. All I know is that, yeah, the whole Black History Month thing, I mean, it's just where's George Floyd? Well, he's got a statue in New York because George Floyd is a hero. No, he's not. But yeah, Whoopi Goldberg is she's just dumb, dude. She literally is just dumb. Yeah. Let me refresh this real quick. Give me a second. Alrighty, we have a $20 super chat from Max Stokes. Thank you so much. We salute you. Max says, keep it up. We definitely will. Stevie Capone, my boy, with the $5 super chat says, you'd think Whoopi would know more about Jews and the Holocaust considering the culturally appropriated she culturally, sorry guys, the lip thing, culturally appropriated them with her stage name, Goldberg, especially. Exactly. That's, you know, I would be willing to bet that she did that on purpose. You know? It was probably more than just like culturally appropriating them. She probably thought, you know, maybe I should just like, you know, have a Jew last name and, you know, maybe, you know, get some money from it. I don't know. I have no idea. That's a whole other conversation. But like I said, Whoopi Goldberg, like that loser says the most ridiculous stuff, and she tries to lecture people about health, and it's kind of like, have you seen Whoopi Goldberg lately? I think she's the last person to lecture me about, you know, my personal health. I'm just saying, you know, I'm not trying to be hateful, YouTube. I'm just saying. I take health advice from healthy people. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. And it's funny, like, when you see The View up there, like, talking crap about Joe Rogan, like, Joe Rogan is not a doctor. Who is he to sit up there and, you know, talk about remedies for COVID, like while they're doing the same damn thing? It's like, who are you to even speak on that? Oh, because the CDC says, Dr. Fauci said. Screw these people. Anyways, like I said, we take donations through Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal as well. Those links are in the description below. Right now, we have a PayPal donation for $20. Let me pull this up real quick. Thank you so much. From Sarah Skilling. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah says for $20, says, if we ever went to war with Russia, do you think it would be because Vladimir Putin sided with Joe Rogan asking for a friend? All I know is that Putin, listen, I'm not a fan of Vladimir Putin. I just think the guy can be a savage sometimes. I don't trust Russia. I will never trust Russia. But I thought it was kind of hilarious today because for those of you that don't know, the Winter Olympics started in Beijing. And I guess Putin was in the audience to launch it. And he was just kind of like, like, I think Vladimir Putin was like this. I think it was a real video. I don't know. I saw it. It was hilarious. I'm not reporting on it. It's just a video. And like Vladimir Putin was like this, like asleep. And he knew the camera was on him while the Ukrainians were walking out. And he was just like, so I don't know. I don't know. Here's what I've been wanting to talk about this. This is what I think is absolutely ridiculous and hilarious about what's happening with Ukraine and Russia is you have the federal government under Biden, okay, literally coming out and saying, every nation has the right to its own sovereignty. We need to align with our allies. We need to back up Ukraine and help them on their border because they have the right to sovereignty. And if big bad Russia wants to come and invade them, we're going to be right there. Even though the Ukrainian president's coming out and saying, dude, this is normal. We don't need your help, Biden. You're just escalating things. It's not a problem. No. You need our help because you're going to be invaded because you deserve to have national sovereignty in your own border. Yeah, just not America. America's not allowed to have their own national sovereignty. It's just crazy to me how this rhetoric isn't like identified by the far left. Biden administration comes out and says, national sovereignty, borders are a good thing for the Ukrainians, and we're willing to send our troops out there to die to defend it. Has nothing to do with us. But what about our southern border? No, that's racist. Keep the southern border of the United States open. Everyone else can have national sovereignty except us because it's racist when we do it. Screw Biden, Psaki, and the entire left regime. These people. This is why the United States of America is falling. It's a global empire. It's an agenda. I know. But it's ridiculous. No more wars, especially over something like this. No, I agree. This is ridiculous. This is not something to go to war for at all. Biden just needs a distraction because he's a freaking failure. We all know that. We have one more $5 super chat from Stevie Capone. Give me a second. Okay. Stevie says for $5, again, isn't it messed up that the United States athletes aren't allowed to speak out against communist China? What are your thoughts on that whole thing? I tweeted that this morning and I said, this is what I said. Let me pull this up. I'm glad you asked, bro. This is what I tweeted this morning. Because Nancy Pelosi is such a freaking CCP chill. Let's just look at this stuff. It's kind of funny. So, let's see. So, I don't know if this is like a Dutch. I think it's Dutch, I want to say. But there's like this Dutch journalist reporting in Beijing, and then the CCP comes in and like just completely shuts him down. I don't know if they abducted him. It's crazy. There they are. Look at her reaction. Oh my God! What? The CCP doesn't like the media? How could this happen, guys? Look at her reaction. Look at it. Look at her. Look at her. Look at her go. Look at her. What? 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 The CCP? What? They censor the media? Oh my goodness. Oh, anyways. So then you got Nancy Pelosi coming out and shilling for
to compete.
The CCP.
I would say to our athletes, you're there to compete. Do not risk incurring the anger of the Chinese government because they are ruthless. I know there is a temptation on the part of some to speak out while they are there. I respect that, but I also worry about what the Chinese government might do to their reputations, to their families. I would say to our athletes...
Oh, Pelosi shilling for the CCP. Don't say the Chinese, the CCP, because there's
government there.
Look at her. Here she is again. Here she is again.
As I say, as I wish the athletes well, I do not encourage them to speak out against the Chinese government there because I fear for their safety if they do. As I say, as I wish the athletes
well, this is what I tweeted since you asked what I thought. Obviously, I think she's a shill. She wants you to bow down. But I tweeted this morning. I'll show you that. That's my favorite one. But I said, notice how SJW athletes are using their aren't using their voice. Oops. Hold on. Notice how no SJW athletes are using their voice at the Beijing Winter Olympics to speak out against China's human rights violations, including the millions detained in hundreds of concentration camps. Stand up for justice. I'm sure the CCP won't mind, you frauds. No. They don't care. They don't care about real human rights violations. No, we don't want to anger the CCP. No. We don't want to anger our Lord. The real commander-in-chief of the United States. We all know who that is. The CCP is behind a lot of this stuff. Xi Jinping, this is the guy. So many American politicians view this guy as the real leader here in this country. I don't know who made this, but this deep fake is hilarious.
I would say to our athletes, you're there to compete. Do not risk incurring the anger of the Chinese government because they are ruthless. I would say to our athletes, you're there to compete. Do not risk incurring the anger of the Chinese government because they are ruthless. I would say...
You know what's funny about this? let me give you my view. Let's take this down. What's funny about this too is like all of Trump's presidency, what did we hear? Trump is a dictator. He's Adolf Hitler 2.0. He's a fascist. His MAGA hats are the new brown shirts. They're going to round up all the black people and the brown people and, throw them into concentration camps. They're going to take all the people that disagree with them and throw them in prison forever. Donald Trump, oh my gosh, the right, Republicans, conservatives, they're the fascists. They're the real SS. They're going to throw us all in jail. They're going to silence us all. But during all of Trump's years, what were they doing? They were out in the streets protesting Trump, which is fine, saying the things that I was saying all 4 years. They were out there speaking out against this fascist regime. Never saw it come to fruition. Isn't it funny how they're so bold to take a stance against fascism in the United States of America? Oh, but no, not when you're dealing with a real communist totalitarian government. No. Guys, don't say anything because I fear for your safety. Nancy Pelosi, to an extent, is actually kind of being serious because it's like, yeah, I know you guys think you're battling the crazy right-wing fascists here in America. That's fine, but we know if you come out and you protest against them, nothing's going to happen to you because it's not actually a real fascist threat. But if you go to China, no. We can do that here in America, but don't do that there because that's the real deal. She's just shilling. She's shilling, dude. Shilling for the CCP. Xi Jinping, that's her real president. Nancy Pelosi does not view Joe Biden as the president of the United States. She views Xi Jinping as the real president of the United States. We all know this. Oh, yes. We're fighting tyranny. We're fighting the right-wingers. We're standing up against fascism. Yes. Antifa, BLM, we riot, we loot, we LARP. But don't you dare stand against, a totalitarian communist government. Okay? I know you like doing your whole BLM thing here in the States, but when you go out there, no, it's kind of the real deal. Something bad's going to happen to you. It's ridiculous, dude. Sometimes I can't tell who's higher, Nancy Pelosi or her own eyebrows. You tell me. What do you guys think in the comment section? All right, hold on. We got another donation here on Cash App from Lola TX with a $20 donation. Lola says, just tuning in, praying that you are doing well, praying hands and heart emoji. Yes, Lola, I am doing well. Thank you so much. I updated the chat earlier that I had an irregularity on my lip, and my dermatologist recommended that I get a biopsy. They cut my lip, and so they could test the skin. Came back that it wasn't cancerous because they wanted to make sure that it wasn't. They thought it could be. So the results came back that it wasn't. So praise God. Thank you guys for staying with me. But yes, man, it's ridiculous, man. You take a look at Nancy Pelosi and you're like, man, is this woman just like literally going to stay in power until like her final breath? And I'm just like, that's not an exaggeration. Ugh. It's ridiculous. Let's see if we have any more super chats. Let me refresh this real quick. Cool. Alrighty, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I will be back, should be back on Monday. I will update you guys on the community section of this channel. When I come back next week, I should be able to remove this. So thank you guys for staying with me. Thank you guys for not unsubscribing, whatever. If people do, sometimes, like I said, I won't be able to be on the show every single day, especially when I have some medical stuff going on. So thank you guys for the love, the prayers, the subscriptions, the likes, the comments, all the encouragement. Thank you guys so much. And like always, thank you guys for the financial support through Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, the Super Chats. Thank you guys across the board. If you're watching the rebroadcast of this, you can always go donate, push pause right now, go straight to Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal. The link is in the description. Shout out to the DH Alliance and every single one of you. that support me monthly for as low as $5 a month on the membership section of this channel. If you're not doing that, consider it right now, or you can give a customized monthly donation through Patreon. The link is in the description below. As always, guys, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, and toggle on the all selection right now. Smash that like button, destroy that like button, and copy the link and share this transmission far and wide wherever you can. We need you guys to beat the censors. We rely on the boots on the ground. That's you, the viewers and the listeners. I'm only one man. I cannot do this by myself. That is why they can effectively throttle me and deboost my channel. But you guys can get the message out. Love you guys very much. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Stay safe. And as always, America, stay free.